a little bit about 5 things you, as a landlord, should be handling differently than what you're doing now. And to start things off, I want to talk about handling turnovers, okay? So like, or your renovation projects, or just anything along those lines. That's kind of more what this episode's geared towards. So let me start off with painting, okay? Have you ever thought about what the professionals do and what they charge and stuff? It's kind of a lot of money. If you're local, you should be going out and painting potentially your own units. And for all this stuff, I'm going to switch to, at the end of this video, I'm going to contradict almost everything I said. So just stick with me here, okay? So just stick with me. So you should be considering painting the units yourself, because it doesn't matter necessarily. It needs to have a good job, but it doesn't need to have a great job. You shouldn't be spending $2 to $5K to get your unit painted. It's a waste of money. Either do it yourself, or wait till the end of this video when I contradict myself to hear the rest of it. Number 2, landscaping. I can tell you from running a landscaping business that the inflated rates that I would charge to people, the jobs aren't that hard. If you're physically able and you can put on a pair of gloves and you can run a weed whacker, and the thing is, people get overwhelmed because they see the entire project. They're like, oh my gosh, I got the mulch beds to do, the gravel beds, all these weeds, and there's trees coming down, and all. Take it one step at a time. Not everything needs to get done in one weekend. A lot of stuff, focus on, for example, I'm working on a duplex right now, the one that's going up for rent. Do you think that I'm going to try and take on all the projects in one day? No, I'm going to focus on the projects that affect the side that's going to be rented out. Getting the pallets removed out of there, getting the weeds pulled out of the rock garden, putting some of those sprinkle weed killer stuff to prevent them from coming back. That's the stuff I'm going to focus on, stuff that's not going to take very long, and the stuff that's going to, help you in the long run. Hey, Michelle, or Michael, I'm sorry, Michael, I misread that. But, so that's something to think about. And when it comes to the tree, I like how we have more likes and we have people watching it right now. As far as the tree comes along, you need to really think hard about the size, and can you drop the tree safely? Are you going to have to climb the tree? Being that I worked for a tree company for a while, I have a lot more comfort in doing a lot of this stuff. But I don't recommend, and even me, I don't do a lot of my own tree work just because I don't trust myself. I don't have a lot of the equipment to do this stuff safely anymore because I sold a lot of it off. So you need to take in perspective what it is that you're doing and handling it in a safe manner. Because honestly, if you have to file an insurance claim, it's going to be on you. They're going to tell you, yeah, you shouldn't have handled that tree. You should have hired a professional. That was number 2. So number 3 is going to be, you should be handling a lot of just your simpler handy tasks, okay? So like, you want to, anything that's simple, like updating like knobs, door knobs, knobs on your cabinets, just different like little fixtures that help set your unit off. That's stuff you can be doing. I mean, it's a simple screw, and you got the screwdriver, and you unscrew the screw, you pull it off, you put the new one in, you screw it back in. I mean, it's just very simple things that you can be doing, and you're not paying a handyman to do it. So then, that was number 3. Well, Cody, I hope it doesn't smell too bad. Anyway, so Number 4. Okay? There's nothing wrong with trying to learn. What about trying to learn something and, like, I'm imagining flooring, okay? I'm not saying get carpet stretchers and go to the extreme. Hire that stuff out. You don't need those tools. You don't need to be hurting yourself. But what about LVP? That stuff is pretty easy to install, and it just snaps together like puzzle pieces. So you can very easily do that and save yourself a good chunk of money. Now, just remember, when you do that, it has to be at least 8 mil thick so that it stands the flex and the warp and doesn't crack in the tongue and grooves of the LVP and stuff. So just keep that in mind. Watch a couple YouTube videos, and you can save yourself quite a bit of money by doing that. And number 5. Have you ever thought about handling smaller things? And this kind of ties into my previous thing, but so instead of hiring someone like a plumber, for example, you hired a plumber to remodel the bathroom. Have you ever thought about, instead of having them replace your sink, like the top and the thing it sits on, have you ever thought about just doing it yourself? It only costs like for a decent rental property, it only costs like $100 to $150 at your local Lowe's or Home Depot, and pop it out, put the new one in, 2 screws, boom, done. Then you get some caulking and glue to put the lid back down on for the sink part, and if you're not comfortable with basic plumbing, coordinate it so that a plumber's going to be there. Otherwise, it's just a couple of screws. You change a couple gaskets. It's not that hard. Now, to contradict everything that I just said, okay? If you are busy and you're working exceptional hours and you're basically handling it as an out-of-state investor, or you are actually an out-of-state investor, this whole video up to this point doesn't apply to you, except for right here at the 7-minute and 48-second mark. So, how am I going to contradict myself? If you're going to have to hire someone to handle this stuff, you can get away with a lot of smaller stuff being a handyman. Just make sure that what you can do is hire them based upon an hourly rate and have the supplies shipped there. If your orders are, a lot of times, I think it's over $1,000, which is very easy in a remodeling project, and even then you can use Amazon and have it shipped there a lot easier. But like $1,000, you can get free shipping from Lowe's and stuff and have it shipped to your house. And Amazon, everyone knows how Amazon works. So anyway, then for your painting and stuff, you'll probably be in it for like $1,500 with supplies. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. And you can have them do a lot of this smaller stuff, and you can save yourself a lot of money. You can have them install the flooring. You don't have to you can't buy a company, but you don't have to use the expensive flooring company in order to get your flooring put in. You don't have to always use the plumber for simple fixtures, like the simple plumbing fixtures and stuff. What you do need professionals for is, like, if you are going to go that route, or if you're in an area like I am where you're not allowed to work on the stuff that is above basic, so you have to contract the stuff out. So your showers, hire the plumber. Your electrical, hire the electrician. Your roofer, hire a roofing company. Your trees, I mentioned this earlier, hire a tree service company. Masonry, hire a professional. A handyman is good for the small stuff. Landlords are good for the basic stuff, and the professionals are for the professionals. So with that, let me scroll through some of these comments. There's a whole ton of them. Hello, hello. Everyone's saying hi. Flavio, how's it going? Harsh Reality, hello. And there's really no questions. So with that, let the sun hit you in the shoulders and have an evening full of awesomeness. Take care, guys.